Hi, my name is Pastor Hal York, and welcome to Truth in the Trenches. Today we're going to Proverbs chapter 10, verses 18 and 19. Whoever hides hatred has lying lips, and whoever spreads slander is a fool. In the multitude of words sin is not lacking, but he who restrains his lips is wise. Now I think it's safe to say that no one wants to be known as a hateful or a hate-filled person. But yet there are people who are filled with hatred all around us, it seems like. You look at the internet, you look at social media, and just online and the news, it just seems like hateful people are everywhere. But yet if you were to talk to them, they would say, well, I'm not a hateful person. Well, how do they hide their hatred? Well, our verse says that they hide their hatred behind lies. What kind of lies can hide hatred? Well, they hide their hatred behind flattery. They say nice things to your face that they would never say behind your back or to the person that they hate. So they say things behind their back that they would never say to their face. They spread slander. They spread false innuendos. They malign people's character, all in a caring, we need to pray for them kind of way. And there's a lot of slanderous false accusations and innuendos that have been perpetrated under the guise of prayer requests. And sometimes it's just hiding hate in a person's heart towards that person. It could have been not shared or shared more lovingly, or they're sharing things that they don't even know are true. But Proverbs has a lot to say about hatred. It has a lot to say about deception, and they both go hand in hand. What does this sound like or look like? Well, Proverbs 23 says, "Do not eat the bread of a selfish man or desire his delicacies, for he thinks within himself, so is he." He says to you, eat and drink, but his heart is not with you. That's what it sounds like. He who conceals hatred has lying lips. So he says, eat and drink. Come, friend. But his heart is not with you. Proverbs 26:26, though his hatred be covered with deception, his wickedness will be exposed in the assembly. Psalm 12:1 and 2, help, Lord, for the godly man ceases to be, for the faithful disappear from among the sons of men. They speak falsehood with one another. With flattering lips and with a double heart they speak. Hatred is hidden behind lying lips. Hatred can be hidden behind flattery and slander. They conceal hatred. You listen to this conversation going on between these people, you think they were best of friends, complimenting one another, congratulating one another. But is hiding a hatred that they may have towards this person. They don't mean anything that they're saying. It's all a lie. Some of the deepest hurts people can receive are from people who they thought were their friends, and maybe you've experienced that. They talk nice to your face. They say good things about you to your face, but they stab you in the back. You find out that they've been speaking lies and slander when you're not around. And it's usually all to set people up so they'll open up their heart and profess friendship, so you will share secrets of the innermost thoughts and fears of your heart, and then they use it against you. Obviously, we should be aware and wary of such people. But sometimes they're hard to spot until you feel the knife in your back. But Proverbs 10 and 12 says, hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all offenses. How do you know if you're a hateful person? What is life like around you? Hatred stirs up strife. Hateful people, they may not want to be known as hateful people, but ultimately they're people who are surrounded by strife. Lies, deception, slander, flattery breed strife. Hate-filled people, hate-filled homes, hate-filled hearts are places of strife, anxiety, and bickering. When you think about lips, lying lips are the most sensitive part of the human body, yet they can be used as instruments that bring lasting and deep hurt. Think of Judas betraying Jesus, not with a Hallmark card, but with a kiss, with his lips, a sign of affection, but yet his heart was filled with evil. How deceptive is that? But I guess the thing that strikes me as I read verses like that, it's easy to look around us and point fingers at people and everything else. The thing that strikes me as I read this verse is I don't want to be that kind of person, and I hope you don't either. And if I don't want to be that kind of person, that means I need to deal with the hatred that may be festering in my heart. And instead of concealing it, to confess it, not to the person you hate, but to God. And go on your knees and ask God to forgive you, to cleanse your heart, to help you to deal with this hurt that maybe they've caused. And if it's just my making mountains out of a molehill, and learning to move on. Or maybe they've hurt me deeply, but I need to go to God and ask God to help me to forgive them, to love them, and to take this hate out of my heart, because if I don't, it will enslave me. It will ensure that I make everything a big deal if hatred is filling my heart. Some things we can just cover. Most things, Proverbs 10:12 says, we can cover. But hatred says, no, I'm not covering anything. Hatred needs its pound of flesh. Hatred and love seldom exist in the same heart, at least the wrong kind of hatred. If you've been deeply hurt, it may mean you need to lovingly confront that person and work things out. And it may not go well. It may go well. You never know. But don't hide hatred behind lying lips. Be honest. Be upfront with people in your life. We don't want to become the person our verse describes. Hatred, when it gets a foothold in our hearts, will use our lips, our tongue, and our mouth as tools to manifest itself. No one wants to be known as a hateful person, but we all wrestle with it. Thus the warning that in many words transgression is unavoidable, but he who restrains his lips is wise. When there are many words, transgressions is going to come. When hatred finds a place in your heart, it's going to want to find an expression. And once it gets on a roll, it's hard to stop it. So we need to guard our hearts, to guard our lips, to speak truth in love. Love does cover a multitude of sins. It doesn't have to make a big deal about everything. Hatred can melt away as we get on our knees and pray for those who've hurt us and offend us. And they may not even know it. And sometimes a misunderstanding can be just solved as we get on our knees and we begin to see maybe I'm looking at this whole thing wrong. Or maybe it's right and I need to confront this person. But don't allow hatred to build up in your heart. Get on your knees and ask God to take it away. To forgive. At least forgive them before God and turn them over to God. And if you need to confront, do so privately, lovingly, compassionately, honestly, doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. So I think this is a very relevant verse for every one of us, because we all wrestle with this. So he who conceals hatred has lying lips, and he who spreads slander is a fool. When there are many words, transgressions is unavoidable, but he who restrains his lips is wise. May this truth guide us and guard us in the trenches of life. We should seek to live our lives for the glory of God and the good of others. May God bless.